What is happening, everybody? It is August 17th, 2025, and we're going to kind of pop up a calendar here real quick. We are roughly, as you can see, we are 1, 2, 3 Sundays away from the first NFL Sunday. Reason to be excited, very, very excited, obviously. So yeah, I'm super excited to see that. I'm not really sure. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. But yeah, I'm really excited. NFL Sunday's coming a lot faster than anticipated, but that doesn't stop us from getting contests in. So we're going to keep getting contests in, and we're going to keep going live. Most days that I can, that there is a contest available to draft, I'm going to within my budget. Today, we have the new flock contest just dropped, probably not even 15 minutes ago. Only has 204 entries. We're going to get our 3 entries in tonight, and we're going to talk some of the updates. Malik NABERS updates, Devon ACHANE updates, all the important updates you guys need. I'm going to talk about them here. So if you guys are new here, make sure you all smack the like button, and I'm going to go ahead and do the countdown, and I will see you guys after the countdown. All right, welcome back. Glad you guys could make it today. If you guys are tuned in, I do appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out. If you guys haven't used StreamYard before, I'm going to go ahead and plug StreamYard here as well. This is what they look like on the screen. StreamYard's a great little platform here. So if you guys haven't already, there's going to be a code in my description that you can use to start on StreamYard today. So make sure you guys use that. Also, you will see the code at the bottom of the screen. You can use my code. And Underdog will match dollar for dollar up to 1,000. So that is nice as well. If you guys use code KGMakesUQuit, we can go ahead and pull that up really quickly here. If we want to, we can go ahead and click the refer a friend, and you can see your code KGMakesUQuit. If you use that code over this, we can get that done. So yeah, but anyway. So we got, like I said, a new contest, the Flock Community Contest 8. We've already done some Flock Community Contests previously. We've gotten in pretty well all of them at this point. I thought about doing a Great Dane too. I decided I'm not going to get into this contest. It's just too expensive. The $200 entry fee is just too much for me. I'm trying to stay between the $50 and $100 range on entry fees, and that's just too much. And I don't like the big eliminator, so I'm kind of in an awkward place right now with the contest selection. I'm sure now that the Husky 2 is gone, there might be a Husky 3 on the horizon. I'm not sure, but there could be another contest similar to the Husky that comes out tomorrow. So we might be drafting that tomorrow. But yeah, for tonight, we have the Flock Fantasy Contests. Waiting on 10 people. So there's that tidbit of information. So yeah, Devon ACHANE is dealing with a soft tissue issue. We're going to kind of pull up the news here. His status for week 1, I don't think is in question yet. I think he's still likely to go, so it hasn't really knocked him down my rankings a ton, but I do think it's going to knock down some people's rankings some. I think this could also bump Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon a little bit, more so Ollie Gordon than Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright's had a pretty bad preseason so far. That kind of sucks because I have a pretty big bag of Jalen Wright. Because I just thought Jalen Wright was a guy who's going to be getting some volume in that offense, but it looks like it might end up being Ollie Gordon. And I might end up being right. Devon ACHANE's soft tissue issue continues, and he ends up hurt. And here we are at the end of the day, with Devon ACHANE hurt, and then we have Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon kind of being the split guys. So that could end up playing out too. So we just don't know that for certain. So we'll see what happens. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. I am going to get my live stream link here. Let me grab it really fast. Maybe grab it really fast. Sorry if y'all heard that. Heard my echo there for a minute. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Waiting on 2 people to fill the Flock Fantasy Contest. I'm not a huge fan of the Flock Fantasy Contests either, but I do think if you can get 1 or 2 of these through, you're looking pretty solid because it's 1 of 12. So you really have to be on top of it to get 1 through. You see, we got James Cook at pick 48, Ken Walker. You know, we have some teams here that are interesting. Jamar, Tyreek, Debo, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs. You don't love to see Green Bay stuff right now, especially with the way Jordan Love is. I'm a little bit hesitant on Jordan Love. I think this is awesome right here, getting James Cook at pick 47. That's a great value looking back at it. Brock Purdy is a pure value play there as well. Really good value here. We did end up pushing up the Tampa Bay Bucks a little bit here with Tyreek. But yeah, I mean, I have some pretty decent ones, I feel like Terry McLaurin's in the mid 40s. I have a lot of slow drafts going on right now. If you guys didn't know, with the little Dalmatians, I put in a bunch of entries, and Rashee Rice is a faller. A big time follower right now has been Terry McLaurin. I've been clicking him quite a bit, late 4th. I just feel like that's way too late for him, and it just doesn't make any sense to me as to why he's going so late. Like I said, it just doesn't make much sense to me why he is going where he is. Let's see. Where is my contest? I don't know where it's at. This is not good. Where is my flock contest? This is the only thing I hate about having so many things going on at once. So, while you're not on Twitch, I usually stream on YouTube for this content. I'm assuming, just based off of my post, that this is probably Bucky. If I had to take a guess, I'm just taking a wild guess here. But yeah, I usually stream on YouTube for this stuff. So I have the VODs and stuff for, if I take down a contest or something like that, then at the very least I have it and it's on recording of me doing it. So, if you go to my YouTube, I'll show this off real quick. I know we're on YouTube right now, but if you come to my channel, you'll be able to see that I have quite a bit of live streams over the past month and a half, 2 months. Used to do it a lot more back in the day, but this is where I like to stream my best ball drafts, just because Twitch really isn't like a super friendly place as far as that goes, like saving your VODs and stuff like that. So Justin Jefferson at the 108 is insanity, by the way. Taking Amon-Ra and CMC over Jefferson just is a never in my book. But yeah, that's mainly the reason why I'm on YouTube for tonight and most nights, honestly. Haven't really been streaming on Twitch a whole lot. I did the other day, but I don't really like to make that a habit because, like I said, the VODs don't save and come over here. So that kind of makes me mad when that happens. But anyway, we're definitely going to pass on BTJ. I'm taking a lot of him. I want to get Genty and I want to get Drake. And I know this might sound like a hot takey kind of thing, but I think Genty is going to be really good. I think getting 2 guys like this is a little bit interesting. I think Genty looks amazing. I think passing on BTJ is definitely a certain call that I usually don't make, but I think you could make a case that Drake London actually might be better than Brian Thomas this season. And honestly, I think it's just simply put due to the target share. Drake London could get 30% of his team's targets. And I would not even consider that a stretch. He could even get 35% of his team's targets, just because there's really nobody else in that receiver room, especially with Mooney kind of being questionable for week 1. There's a lot of potential there for Drake London to be a 35% target share kind of guy, like almost a NABERS level target share. So, I mean, it makes some sense to me. And I think he's got a much better quarterback than NABERS has. I think Penix is a really upside good swing there. So I've been finding myself clicking Drake London quite a bit more recently, and I've been trying to keep that kind of going. So we're going to look at our completed here. We'll kind of look at our exposures again. I do want to take a peek at this just to show this real quickly. 245 teams. I think this is where it was yesterday, but I'm in so many slow drafts. This is going to change probably closer to the season. So we'll do a portfolio review closer to year. I think that would be good for us to do as just an exercise to show kind of exposures and what we were thinking and kind of where I'm at with everybody. So I'm a little bit lower exposed on Genty than I'd like to be. But if I'm getting Genty in the second round, I was totally out on him in the first round. If you can get him in the second round, that's kind of where I'd like to start taking him. So I'm going to try to start getting my Genty bags up a little bit. I think Genty's very talented. I think Genty's the best prospect we've seen since Bijan, and that's saying a lot, especially if you can get him in the second round. I mean, that to me is extremely good. I don't know that I'd put him up there with the, I don't know that he's up there with the Gibbses of the world, but I think I'd rather have Genty than CMC at this point. But that's just me. I know that might be a little hot takey as well, but I think the upside of the two, obviously McCaffrey has a little bit more upside, but realizing a McCaffrey upside, you're already paying for that at the 107. So I just feel like you're getting a Genty, you're getting a better price for Genty for the same amount of upside. I feel like. So, but yeah, that's where I sit with those guys. I'm going to move myself to the middle here just because it makes life a lot easier for everybody. You could see the board. You could see everything here. I kind of like this view. So, yeah. T. Higgins off the board at pick 28. T. Higgins has been falling down boards a little bit. These quarterbacks have been getting pushed up, which I've been doing pretty well all offseason, trying to push them up. Because if you think about it, really, if you can get like at the 101 Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, and he gets a Brock Bowers faller here, like you have the potential quarterback 1, receiver 1, and tight end 1 on your team. That's really hard to compete with, honestly. Like just based on positional value alone, that's just very difficult to compete with. Mike Evans off the board at pick 32. Kyron, Amarion Hampton, Trey McBride is a little bit of a faller there. Devontae Adams going really early at pick 33 in my eyes. Not really a huge Devontae Adams fan. Garrett Wilson's going down boards, which is nice. Getting Garrett Wilson in the 4th round is really good. Late 3rd, early 4th, I think is a really good spot for him. I'd personally prefer Kittle to Wilson. I haven't updated my rankings yet. I need to do that. But I'd prefer Kittle to Wilson. I'd prefer Jaden to Wilson. After that, I think I'd probably take Wilson. Worthy goes off the board. I think we're going to take Garrett Wilson here as a big faller. I think that's a really good price for him. I know Justin Fields hasn't really shown great signs here, but we're also going to take Kittle. Justin Fields hasn't looked great in preseason at all, but it's preseason at the end of the day. I don't really weigh a whole bunch into preseason. We've seen Justin Fields supplement a receiver 1 before. I'm not saying it can't happen again, but I mean, at 4th round price, I'm willing to take a chance on it happening again. So that's where I'm at. Injury update, Malik Nabers dealing with a back problem, and he hasn't practiced in like 12 days now, so 2 weeks almost. That's not good. That's not good news that you want to hear out of Malik Nabers' camp. All things considered, we like Russell Wilson here. I'm a big Russell Wilson guy. I like him a lot. It's just without Nabers, I don't really know how much upside, like how much boom potential Russ has. So he's really hard to click right now also. I do think there's a potential chance that Slayton becomes the best click in fantasy for best ball drafts this year. I think there's a world where that exists. And if Nabers has this back problem going on all season, we really could see Slayton end up being a wide receiver 2 level production, I would think. And maybe Wandale gets like the PPR stuff. So you could have 2 guys that may be able to produce at wide receiver 2 levels going in the last like 3 rounds. That's really nice. I bet I've got quite a bit of Darius Slayton, and I've gotten quite a bit of, not as much Wandale, but enough of Wandale to say I have a good amount of him. So, if you go to my Giants exposures, we have 14.3% Darius Slayton and almost 10% Wandale. Neighbors were a little bit below weight on, but I'm not. That's a first round pick. The only reason I'm a little underweight on him is because I prefer Nico Collins. I prefer Amon-Ra St. Brown over him. So, and I can get to usually one of those guys anyway, because Neighbors, a lot of people prefer Neighbors to both those guys, honestly. So, but take that for what it is in a half-point PPR format like Underdog. Maybe I'd prefer Nico in them, but in a full point PPR, I'd maybe prefer Neighbors. Getting asked to join the Discord right now. Unfortunately, I am streaming. So maybe after the stream. So my fiance and I yesterday went out with some friends, and we went to this place called Fastest Lap. Shout out Fastest Lap if you guys happen to Google it. But anyways, it's in our town, or in a town kind of close to us. But anyways, long story short, it's like a racing simulator. So like you actually have the steering wheel, the pedals. You can drive manual if you want. We chose automatic. It's really cool. You wear a headset and you talk to each other through Discord, which is kind of cool. And it, like the whole set, like your chair shakes, everything else. It's really cool. Really cool simulator. We went there and hung out for like an hour and a half. That was really fun. And then we went like putt golfing and stuff afterwards. So kind of had a busy day yesterday. I was gonna probably hop in some drafts, but just had a busy day. Didn't get there. What's up, Crabbed? What's up? Hope all is well. But yeah, I mean, busy day yesterday. Pretty good day overall. If Rashee Rice is in your 6th round, I'm just struggling not to click him. I'm really struggling not to click Rashee, but I understand why people aren't. I'd be scared of him too. He's a very scary click, and I understand that. But they did talk about this settlement, and this was before they settled in court. So they said it was going to be 10 weeks before they settled in court. With settlement in court, that could end up being appealed down to like 6 games. We could still see that be a 6-game suspension, I feel. And if it is a 6-game suspension, we're looking at a really good opportunity to buy, especially all things considered there. So we're going to go with a couple rookies here, RJ Harvey and Emeka Egbuka. Huge Egbuka fan. If you guys watched preseason today or yesterday, I forget when it was, Egbuka did score a touchdown in his one catch. So Egbuka is just getting all the steam possible, imaginable right now. I'm trying to get my Egbuka bags up a little bit more than what I have them currently at. So Egbuka to me is a guy that really easily could be a receiver 2 in this offense. If Evans goes down, we could be talking about Egbuka being a top 24 kind of receiver by the end of this year. I mean, Egbuka's got the talent level to be able to be that, in my opinion, in his first year. He kind of reminds me a lot of Brian Thomas Jr. Obviously, he has a lot more competition than Brian Thomas had when he came in, but I do think that his talent profile is so good that it honestly just doesn't matter. Chris Godwin, I'm a little worried about Chris Godwin, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. Nobody really knows. And if they say they do, well, they don't know anything. My Chris Godwin shares, I've been getting him quite a bit as far as these like lower drafts for the upside reason. Obviously, if he comes back and he's a wide receiver 1, great. But in these higher stakes contests, I'm really nervous to take him. I've been taking him in the lower stakes stuff because I feel like I could be a little bit more risky in those and trying to, bank on him kind of returning to production, or at least, 80% of his production. If he returns to 80% of what he was, that's huge in the 8th round, 9th round for him. But I'm not banking on that with these high stakes teams. I don't want to. And in these contests where it's, one team advances, it's really hard to like get a guy who's going to miss probably the first 4 weeks. That to me is really tough to take on. You don't really want that. And you know, you want guys. It's harder to take these rookies in this contest too, because usually they come on at the end. Obviously, I got 3 of them, but I think 2 of the 3 could be really good early season players as well. Genty being one of them. I think Emeka Egbuka could really make an impact early on. So I think Egbuka could establish himself even as the wider. He could be the wide receiver 1 for the Buccaneers. I mean, there's a range of outcomes where that happens. So, and on a team that's really, really good at offense and really, really bad at defense, they're almost like a mini Bengals kind of team. They're not nearly as good as the Bengals, obviously, on offense, but man, they're pretty good on offense. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Baker is no Joe Burrow, but Baker can hold his own. That's for sure. See some very non-correlated things going on here. Joe Burrow unstacked, McCaffrey, Hampton, Ken Walker, AJ Brown, Travis Hunter, Sam Laporta. Kind of nasty. Good news about these contests, though, is you really don't have to be correlated a ton. 1 out of 12 advance. You really want to just get the best projection possible. How much was this entry? So for the flock contest, it's $10 per entry, $30 to max because you can only do 3 per contest for this one. So it's $30 to max. So not too crazy. But like I said, the advance rate, if you can get through the first round, it's a 1 out of 2 advance rate. It's literally a 50-50 chance you and against one other person. So that's extremely nice, but you got to get through the first round first. It's a really tough contest to get through the first round. We are going to go Josh Downs. I know he exited practice, but I'm not too worried about the Josh Downs stuff. I don't think Downs is really going to be a guy I'm super concerned about. I know it's a hammy. He was able to walk off his own power. I'm sure it's just one of those cautious things that the Colts are just being cautious with him. I don't blame them. I don't, they know he's going to be their receiver in the slot. They know what his role is. There's no real need for him to play in the preseason. So I'm not super worried about Downs. I think Downs is a very good target for Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to be really good this season. Has a lot of after catch potential. And I think he's a great route runner in the slot. So, that helps as well. So, but yeah, you can hop in the next one with us if you want. If you guys want, we're going to do all 3 of these tonight. So, 3 entry max. We'll end up, let me move myself here real quick. 3 entry max. We'll end up doing them all. 10K to first. Like I said, if you make it past the first round, you're golden. You're golden. Then you're at 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2. And if you can make the final, which is a 100-seat final, you already triple you take $30 and make it 50 at that point, which you're just trying to get a team through is essentially all you're trying to do. So. Dak Prescott goes off the board at pick 94. Goes to the CD team. No surprise there. I don't even love the CD team's receivers after CD. I like JSN. I like JMO. I don't really love DK, and I don't really like Jacoby Myers, but take it for what it is, I guess. If we go here and see what other options were available instead of Myers, where did he take him? Up here? I would have taken Olave over Myers. I would have probably personally taken Pollard over Myers. I definitely would have been taking Addison close to Myers. I think I probably would have taken Addison over Myers too. The rest I wouldn't have, but it is what it is. Not my team, so a lot of no badges in here, so that's also a positive as well. You love to see no badges in the room. Sometimes, other times it gets messy fast. Purdy's off the board, obviously really early for Brock Purdy. And it's naked Brock Purdy, so that's interesting. Baker and Mike Evans are paired up. Yeah, I don't love the naked Brock Purdy selection, but especially when it's not at a discount. If you're not getting it at a discount, then what is the point? This might be a Justin Fields team where we get Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson and just kind of rock out with it, see what happens. It makes a lot of sense to go Fields at least here. Let me move this back here. Makes a lot of sense to go Justin Fields at least. Drake May. I don't think we need to get 2 here. I think we need another running back. Sharbs is not really a guy I want. Judkins, I'll push up here. I'll probably just, I'm just going to push. Actually, who's my tight end? Let me get Tucker Kraft at tight end here. Justin Fields, Tucker Kraft. Get a couple good tight ends here that I really like. I don't even got to look at tight end anymore. We got our 2 guys that we want. We got Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson paired up here. We got pretty good running back room here with Genty, Harvey, and Warren. And I'm pretty confident in our receivers and how we've started there. Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Igbuka, and Josh Downs. Not bad, honestly. Not a terrible start for us. I really like that we got Kittle on this team. Kittle and Tucker Kraft. We got really solid upside at tight end. We want to make sure we're winning at that position. I'm probably the only team that has 2 tight ends so far. So I've definitely drafted heavily into the tight end position. Kyle Pitts at the pick 110. That's extremely early. He went ahead of Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram with a good value there. I would not be shocked. Bo Nix guy doesn't get any. Oh, he gets Cortland Sutton. Okay. So he does get at least one person from the Broncos. But Ingram, Dobbins, both falling there. That's nice. That's really nice. Ingram especially. Ingram being that kind of a faller is pretty nice, to be honest. I'm going to do a draft real quick. Go ahead. Hop on in. Like I said, if you haven't used the code, use the code. It helps all of us, David Njoku off the board. Pick 122. But yeah, we're a couple preseason weeks away. Week 1 starts September 4th. Thursday night game. Pretty excited. Dallas, Philly. Start off the year. And then they play Friday in Brazil. Chiefs, Chargers. And then Sunday, September 7th is week 1. It's not that far away. Then the Monday night game, we got Vikings, Bears. I'm pretty sure is what it is. Let me check. Hold on. Yeah, Vikings, Bears, Monday night. So pretty fun week 1. I'll be curious to see when Underdog starts dropping contests for week 1. I'm personally not going to be partaking in those this year. I thought I might, but it's honestly, I've just gone all in on best ball, and I'm just going to watch best ball teams all year. I'm not going to play DFS. I'm the 105. 105 is a fun spot. Anything in the first 6 is a lot of fun, personally, in my opinion. I don't love number 2 and 3, but I'd rather be 1, 5, 6, or like 11, 12. Like that's where I want to be this year. The other ends of the spectrum, I really don't want to be there. We're gonna go ahead and take Bashal Tootin here. And then we're going to look for a receiver, kind of scroll down a little bit here for Palmer, maybe. Palmer makes some sense. So we're going to go Palmer. Could have went Penix there, but decided not to get a second quarterback. We're going to get 3 quarterbacks, and we can get them later. Not really too worried about them. I'd rather add to my receiver room right now. We're trusting that Justin Fields rushing upside is going to be a bottom end QB1 anyway with this team. So, and he can help out his supplementary here with getting there by throwing to Garrett Wilson. So, Stroud off the board, Jordan Love off the board at pick 138. Little naked Jordan Love action. Algier, Dallas Goedert off the board. T-Law off the board. Let's get this back up here. There we go. Does this like work still the way it used to? I'm just curious if it automatically updates as well. Because if it does, we'll just keep this up like this. I don't know if it does. Yep, it does. Okay. So we'll keep it up like this for the most part. Just throw me down here. There we go. Let's see. Braylon Allen off the board at pick 143. That feels awfully early for Braylon Allen. Dobbs off the board. Tajay Spears at 145. I get why he's dropping, but that's a really good price for a guy I really like. So Kyle Williams. I don't know how relevant Kyle Williams is going to be. I've been backing off of Kyle Williams quite a bit, trying not to get him as much. Najee at 148, Cedric at 149. Garendo at 150. Bijan at the 101. Yeah, I'm not taking Bijan there. I mean, there's a case to be made for it, I think, but anytime I get the 101, I'm just smacking Jamar Chase, and I'm just not even really thinking twice about it. So he's got Mooney, so he could go Penix. What about you? And he's got Kyle Pitts, so either one of these guys could go Penix, unfortunately. So I'm not banking on getting him. I'm okay with Bryce Young, I think. Yeah, I'm good with Bryce Young. Yeah, I figured one of these two would go. McCaffrey over Gibbs. Yeah, you get some lobbies like that for sure. Bryce Young goes off the board there. That's super duper unfortunate for us. I think we're just going to go Geno. And then we're going to take Eckler. I mean, the talks of them shopping Brian Robinson makes this an extremely fun time because Austin Eckler is a guy I really like. Obviously, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is going to be the slappy pick for a lot of people with that news. Mine is just to lean into the variance and go with Austin Eckler and be on the flip side of that. I think Austin Eckler's value kind of rises in that regard because they're not immediately going to go to Krosky if they do get Brian Robinson off the team. So that's just my 2 cents. I think Krosky's a pretty great click right now, though, at 170s. I truly believe he is a great click. So I might try to start getting to him more. Obviously, my Commanders bags right now, I have 16% Austin Eckler and 7% Krosky and 9% B-Rob. I'm probably going to start trying to click Krosky a little bit more. Just with the B-Rob news that came out, they've been trying to shop him. So I think that's a very legitimate way to play it. Underdog hasn't updated it yet. So when they do, Krosky's going to shoot up another 20 picks. So that might be a priority for me in these next couple is to get Krosky just to make sure I get him a little bit more than what I already have. I do think that there's a lot going on with these contests as well. I think tomorrow there's going to be a new contest drop, like I said, similar to what the Husky 2 was. If you're not familiar with what the Husky 2 was, it was a $40 price point, 10 entry max, 11,000 entries. Like I said, I really liked this format a lot. 3 out of 12, 2 out of 8, 1 out of 6, 117 seat final. So 3 out of the first 12 team, or 3 out of the 12 teams in your pod advance. Bless me. Excuse me. Then 2 out of 8. So realistically, you got a 33% chance here, a 25% chance here, And obviously your 1 out of 6 is what, a 16% chance, I think, or is it an 18%? I don't know math. I think it's a 16. Yeah, 16% chance. I was right. So overall, I think it's I like that a lot. I like that format structure a lot. So it makes sense for me to max that. Probably will be the last contest I max if they drop something similar to that. But yeah, I mean that Husky 2 took a while to fill. It didn't take that long to fill the last time they had that, so maybe I stream every single one of those. We'll see, because it is a little bit higher stakes. So see where Ja'Cory went off the board at. I'm just curious. He went off at pick of 170, literally right on the money. So 170 is where he goes right now. I think that's a really, really good price, considering they haven't dropped the B-Rob news on here yet. Because once they do, he's going to go up another freaking 20 picks probably. Just taking a guess. I think A-Rich is going to be one of my picks here. And then the other pick, I got to kind of scroll down. I'm not taking Alec Pierce. Michael Wilson, maybe. Keaton Mitchell. The Mitchell hype's getting a little bit out of hand. I still like Justice Hill a little bit more. I think that might be the two clicks that I have here is A-Rich and Slayton. So that's what we're going to do. It's those two. This is a very volatile quarterback room, by the way. Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson. This is about as Slappy can get at quarterback, by the way. And then our receivers, we have Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Emeka Egbuka, Josh Downs, Josh Palmer, Darius Slayton. Tight ends, we got George Kittle, Tucker Kraft. This is about as fantasy-oriented as your quarterbacks can possibly get, because, my God, none of these guys are good quarterbacks in real life. So they are here to run touchdowns and be grown men at the goal line is what their jobs are. So at least Geno Smith looks like a semi-competent quarterback, but Fields and Richardson, those guys just need to be grown men this year. That for this team to succeed. So maybe they can be grown men. I don't know. Maybe not. God only knows at this point. Especially with Anthony Richardson, if he's a grown man or not. Monangai got some injury news today. He didn't suit up today. They didn't really say anything much about it. Everybody's assuming it's injury related. I don't know. Nobody really knows. So I'm not really thinking too much into this. Woody Marks is a guy that I'm pushing boards up a little bit here. I feel like Woody Marks should be going ahead of Keaton Mitchell easily. Ahead of Roshan Johnson pretty easily. He should be up there with Jalen Wright in that range. Rico Dowdle. Jerome Ford definitely should be going ahead. Jaden Blue is interesting. Yeah. I don't know where Nick Chubb is going. I don't love the fact that Nick Chubb is going at 160 and Woody Marks is still in the 190s. I don't really get that because I don't really feel like they're that far apart. Really at all, to be honest. So if you want to buy one of those, I'm buying Woody Marks. Personally, I don't think I've really taken any Nick Chubb. And the only Nick Chubb I have from this year is when I could get him in the last round as a last round click. That's really the only way I've gotten to Nick Chubb. It's the only real way that's made sense to me to get to him. So, yeah, he was a last round click for me, all my bags of Nick Chubb. Definitely will not be clicking him any sooner than that. I just don't think he's that good. Coker's rising up boards, which is good to see because I drafted quite a bit of Coker this year. I think Coker's straight up better than Xavier Legette. So this price point to me is just too easy to click. I think I've always thought that he's better than Legette. Even since when he was drafted, he was just better looking than Legette. Legette just has brick hands, and I don't like Legette personally. Take that for what it is. I do think we need to go a couple running back clicks. I don't know that we need another receiver. I would like to get one more, but I don't know that we need it. So Coker went off the board. I know we need another running back. We're definitely going to go Taj Brooks. Do we want another receiver like Trey? Yeah, we're going to go Trey Tucker, Taj Brooks, and just call it like that. 3-6-7-2 build. We got Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson, Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, Jalen Warren, Bashal Tutin, Austin Eckler, Taj Brooks, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Emeka Egbuka, Josh Downs, Josh Palmer, Darius Slayton, Trey Tucker, George Kittle, and Tucker Kraft rounding it out. Frizzle, what's good? Hope all is well with you, man. How we doing on this fine Sunday night, I believe? Yeah, it is Sunday. I go on call for tomorrow, unfortunately. So, the on-call weeks, they're usually busier weeks. So that sucks for me, but it is what it is. If you guys want to hop into another one with me, we're waiting on 11 people, so we got some room. If you guys want to hop into a lobby with me and draft some Flock Fantasy Contest, be my guest, hop in. But like I said, Frizzle, hope all is well. Welcome into the stream. If you guys are new here, I don't like plugging this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Make sure y'all drop a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Helps my channel grow. And subscribe to the channel. We've been streaming quite a bit with this, so I'm going to try to stream during the season too. It probably will be a lot of injury news and stuff like that. Some takes throughout the season of guys I want to target and trade for and stuff like that. So, that's going to be a lot of what my streaming is probably throughout the season. I won't be doing a lot of DFS drafting personally. It's just too expensive, and I've spent quite a bit on best ball this year. So I'm trying to be able to conserve for a house. So I'm taking DFS off this year. So, is what it is at the end of the day. We'll be able to talk about some players, though. I'm definitely down to answer questions about it. Trying to decide to pick between Hunter or Waddle. That is a pretty tough one in these drafts. I think it just depends on your risk tolerance. Personally, I think right now I'd lean Waddle. Tyreek Hill and Tua haven't looked great. Jonnu's gone. ACHANE, the soft tissue issues kind of popped up. I probably would be leaning Waddle right now. I think he has a lot more upside potential to be a wide receiver one. I think, believe it or not, I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jags are a little bit more stable of an offense than the Miami Dolphins might be this year. I think the Dolphins are pretty rough, to say the least. I'm still leaning Waddle a little bit, but it is pretty close. It is very close, to say the least. So take that for what it is. Three more people is what we're waiting on. So if you guys want to hop in, make sure y'all get in. But yeah, if you guys have your fantasy drafts coming up or whatever, drop your questions down and in the comments, and I will help you guys out the best I can. I do want to put out some rankings. I did start some rankings. I will show this real quick. Let's see. I did start some rankings in like 2023. Obviously, that isn't this year, but I didn't mean to put 2023. This is actually like this year. And I don't know why I put 824, but the 8/6/2023, this is actually this year. So I don't know why it says that, but it does. And I get the 112 again, unfortunately. Oh, man. It is what it is, I guess. We move on. We move, I guess. But, man, didn't really want the 112 again, but it is what it is. Yeah, I got Chase, Terry, and Sutton currently just trying to buff up my receivers. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't really play a factor into the, I got Chase, Terry, and Sutton. So like, do I take Waddle because I have these guys, or do I take Hunter because I have these guys? I'd rather just put it in a vacuum and say I like this guy better than this guy and give my reasons why. Um, I think there's no such thing as drafting too much upside, and I think there's no such thing as drafting too safe. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if you feel like you're drafting safe, you should not be playing these contests anyway. Just my 2 cents. If you feel like you're drafting ceilings all the time, that's a good thing to like have player takes and stuff like that. Because I feel like if you're drafting at a ceiling outcome or a ceiling price, obviously, KGMakesUQuit is a perfect example for this. I feel like we are drafting him at a middle value right now. We're not drafting him at his ceiling because if we were drafting him at his ceiling, he would be going closer to Travis Hunter. He would be going actually, he might be going closer to like Jamison Williams or DJ Moore or DK Metcalf if we were drafting a KGMakesUQuit at his ceiling. So there's a lot more room to grow with that kind of a pick. I see Jahmyr Gibbs and Justin Jefferson still sitting here, and Nico Collins and Neighbors go up. Okay. Why do I have to be at the last pick in these rooms where people do this? I'm so sad. Why? Why do I got to be at the back end of the draft when people do this? Nico Collins I can get because I actually like Nico this much too, but I'm not taking him over Gibbs and I'm not taking him over Justin Jefferson. That's for certain. Second lobby in a row where I've seen Jettas go at 108, which is just freaking nuts. And of course, we get like the same fall to us. We're just going to take BTJ and Drake and keep it pushing. Kind of unfortunate for us, but it is what it is at this point. Genty goes off the board at pick 14. I think 12, like at the beginning of the year, 12 was such a fun place to draft from. Now I don't really like it as much. I would rather be 4, 5, 6, 1, or 8, 9. That's where I'd like to be right now. Like those are the spots that I feel are the best spots to be. I just saw somebody get Jefferson ACHANE. Like, how am I supposed to beat a team like this? You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm supposed to beat a team like that. I truly don't. Oh, man. Nico Ladd, I mean, that's week 17 correlation. I don't even know if this guy knows what week 17 correlation even means for him, or if he just accidentally got it. Because honestly, with the way these rooms are, I never know. If they don't have a badge next to their name or this little G or like horns, I don't know if they even know what they're doing, like 100%. And even the badges don't guarantee you that they know a little bit about what they're doing. Because used to, whenever you drafted from this spot back here, you could start 2 elite guys like this, and you could get Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson back here. They'd sometimes fall. And then you take a running back of like the Kyron Williams tier, and you could start with that kind of a start and have Josh Allen, Kyron Williams, and 2 guys like this. You can't really do that anymore. Unfortunately, you just can't do that anymore. So that part of it sucks now. The Bears just scored again, by the way, in the preseason. Luther Burden has 3 catches for 49 yards. That's pretty solid to see. Just a little bit of a side note there. Let's see. Z-Will03 is drunk. I mean, yeah, Nico at the 105 to me is just not a good pick. Hampton's fine, Ladd's fine. I mean, that's fine to me. But yeah, the Nico Collins at 105. I'm never taking him over Gibbs or Jefferson. I'm never taking Neighbors over both those guys either. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Looks like I might be able to get Kyron. Sweet. I got Kyron. I will happily draft him, and I will happily take Jaden Daniels as well. So there we go. I mean, that worked out perfectly. I mean, this is the stuff that you could get at the beginning of the year. That was really nice. I didn't think Kyron would fall that far. I think if you can get James Cook there too, that's a really good pick. But yeah, I mean, this is a good start. I mean, you get a good RB, a low-end RB1. You get Jaden Daniels, who's a top 5 QB pretty easily. And you get BTJ, Drake London, who both have potential to be receiver 1 this year. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good start in my eyes. Even if I don't get Terry McLaurin to pair up with Jaden Daniels, I don't really care. Jaden Daniels rushing upside alone is going to just carry him anyway. So I'm not too concerned about that. Would I love Terry McLaurin at pick 60? Of course. Of course. I think anybody would love Terry McLaurin at pick 60, but I'm not banking on it being there. And for the people on Twitter, by the way, who continue to say Travion Henderson over Amarion Hampton, I just want you to really reflect on yourself and seek help, because Travion Henderson is not even going to sniff Amarion Hampton this year. I'm just going to be realistic here. Amarion Hampton is in an offense where they will literally run it down your throats until their deaths do them part, and they're going to be in games this year. They're not going to be a team that just rolls over every game like the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be playing from behind every single game they play in, which bodes well for Travion Henderson. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't make Travion Henderson better than Amarion Hampton. Simply put, it just doesn't. They're a worse team. Amarion Hampton has a better line. Amarion Hampton has a lot better coaching. Amarion Hampton's situation is so much better than Travion Henderson's. Travion Henderson is a very elite running back. I understand that. But my God, the Patriots suck. Like, let's just be real. Name their wide receiver 1. Name any receiver that's worth a damn outside of Stephon Diggs. I mean, are you going to sit up here and tell me that Demario Douglas is actually somebody? Like, I get it. I have to draft him that he is somebody because he has a role. But my God. I mean, that dude is just not good at football. I mean, he's fine at football, but, like, he's nothing special at football. Let's just be real. Chill, Drake May, go. Drake May is great. I'm a Tar Heel fan. Drake May is great. This is not a Drake May comment. This is my God, this team is like, it needs some help. It has a long way to go before we start talking about this team as being somebody like really good. So that's just my 2 cents. Like I said, I will take this every time if Rashee Rice is here at pick 60. My tolerance is that high. I'm willing to take a stab at it if Rashee Rice is there. I'm just willing to do it. I'm probably going to look like the idiot, but it is what it is. And Rashee Rice goes right before me yet again. Unfortunate. We're going to go Debo. And we are going to go Emeka Egbuka once again. Actually, yeah, we're going to go Emeka Egbuka again. It's looking pretty sexy in the receiver room right now. Pretty sexy. We got Brian Thomas, Drake London, Debo Samuel, Emeka Egbuka. Pretty fun receiver room, to say the least. Let's see. You would like to, at this point, you like to see kind of, I don't want to say guaranteed points, but because Igbukah is not really guaranteed points, but I do think his upside outweighs the guarantee there. I think we could really see Igbukah be a 3rd-round pick next year if everything goes according to plan, especially with the situation they're in. I mean, Mike Evans could take a step back naturally even too. Like, there's so many ways that I could sit here and like plot Emeka Igbukah to be a wide receiver 1 this year. You know, whether it's Mike Evans regresses, Godwin doesn't come back healthy, and then it's just Igbukah there. McMillan's already gotten hurt again. I don't know if McMillan's like hurt, but he took a really bad hit. He was kind of shaken up a little bit. I don't think he's like gonna be hurt long term. I think he'll be back pretty soon, but if he even misses time at all. But yeah, I mean there's a lot of cases I feel like can be made for Emeka Igbukah to be the wide receiver 1 of a really great offense, to be honest. This guy goes Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, and they're both naked. I don't think Stimpy knows what he's doing, to be honest. Z-Will has kind of made up his draft for now. Let's see. I get to draft next to a sharp player, of course. He takes Olave and Kamara, which is interesting. I usually don't like to get the double Saints, but that's just my 2 cents. Khalil Shakir, Josh Allen paired up. Ridley, pretty good receiver too. Pollard, I actually kind of like the Ridley Pollard pairing. Ken Walker, Jonathan Taylor. I kind of like this team a lot from the 1. The 2, Bijan, Chase Brown, that's fine. Then you get Reek, Jameson, Sutton, Myers, Judy. You hope Reek can give you some spike weeks because Reek is not at all what he used to be. His numbers have dipped. His underlying numbers have dipped tremendously. Tyreek is a guy I really haven't gotten a lot of. I'm about average, maybe a little bit below average with Tyreek Hill in my exposures. I'm just not really clicking him a lot. I think he's too much. I personally would be taking him more closer to this range with Mike Evans than I would be up here with T. Higgins. But that's just my 2 cents. Hero RB with McCaffrey is certainly a viable strategy. It's not one that I really love to do, but it's definitely something you can do. I definitely want to go Jaylen Warren here. I like Jaylen Warren quite a bit. I think we're going to swing for the fences here and go Higgins as well. Higgins over Downs. I do think there's a lot of upside to be had here with Jaden Higgins. And I think that captures a lot of upside there at receiver for us. Having Higgins and Igbukah on the same team in a 1 out of 12 advanced format. We're just hoping that our early season guys, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Devo, can carry us through. And by the time there, we have 2 guys that's a two wide receiver, 2 level production level receivers that can produce that by end of season and have some spike weeks to wide receiver 1 weeks to fill the flex is kind of what we're hoping. Like I said, the Brian Robinson news also hasn't made Underdog yet, it looks like. So that's good to know. It might not make it there till the morning, so that's nice. So like I said, Ja'Cory Krosky, if you're drafting a lot tonight, might be a target. Somebody you want to target before he shoots up another 20 picks. So, yeah. Caleb Williams, James Cook, Kyron Williams, Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Travis Kelce, Chuba Hubbard, Jerry Jeudy, Harvey Golden, Tucker Kraft, Drake May, Keenan Allen. That's a pretty solid start. You got Caleb Williams naked, it looks like, and Drake May naked. So you got a couple naked quarterbacks, which, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of drafting naked quarterbacks, but especially guys that really don't have rushing upside. Caleb really doesn't have a ton. Drake May is fine to draft naked, but Oh, you got Loveland. Okay, I mean that's fine. Skinny stacks, that's fine. You don't really have to pair somebody up with Drake May because he does it with his legs. That's why I kind of like Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a very optional guy to pair up with somebody. If you get one or two, that's just perks at that point because he does it a lot with his legs. So Jaden Daniels last season we saw rush for 891 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like I could see more touchdowns coming for him. I could also see. I don't know that I could see more yards, but more touchdowns I could definitely see out of Jaden Daniels this year. Joe Mixon off the board to pick 98. Dobbins at 97. Interesting. So he's got the Buffalo Bills double with Shakir and Coleman, and he's got Chase Ridley. I like this team a lot from the one spot. I like that team quite a bit from the one spot. It's one of my favorite teams I've seen. Drake May, Tyler Warren, Pacheco. This team ended up pretty good, I think. He gets Diggs and Drake May. I kind of like that. Naked Baker Mayfield is certainly a choice. Kyler, Trey McBride. Yeah, I don't know. Naked Baker's a choice. I'm not making, but whatever, I guess. Mooney off the board at pick 105. Like I said, this guy's pretty sharp. Tracy's been moving up boards. I took a lot of Tracy early when he was in the mid, and when he was like 110-ish, when he was even with Scatabo. He's a pretty easy click for me. Not really anybody here that I want to go with at quarterback. We could take our tight end here and go Evan Ingram. I'd be more than happy to go Evan Ingram, Tucker Kraft, stuff like that. Not really any receivers here that I want to go. I don't really want to take a third rookie. I think Ingram's a great pick, and I think Tucker Kraft is a great pick. So that's who we're going to go with, is those two. Solidify our tight end room. We don't really have any KC pieces, though, to make this week 17 correlation with Ingram work. Same with the Ravens. We don't have any really Ravens pieces either, which is fine. Running back wise, I think Judkins is now properly priced where he should be. I knew I wasn't going to get him cheap. Tank Bigsby's all the way up at 127 now. That's expensive for me. I would rather take Tootin at the price that we're currently at. Tootin's the cheapest running back, and I think he's got the most home run potential as well. Taking Tank Bigsby is basically making at this price anyways, is making a bet that we see Tank Bigsby get some receiving work, and we see this 7 catches become, 30 or 40 catches, I feel like. That's what I feel like that almost has to be. And I just don't see that happening. I think, Etienne is going to be the receiving back there. I think Tootin could cut into that too. I just don't know where the upside is with Tank Bigsby, personally. At that price, I don't. Now, when he was in the 170s, 160s, I could see the upside, but the 120s, 110s, I'm not on board with that at all, honestly. Ramondre is a guy I really haven't gotten to it a lot either. Not really a guy I've been clicking. Probably won't be clicking him much either. It just feels like Ramondre is a guy that is already a backup at this point. I do understand the click. He's one of the premium backups because of how he's paid and kind of his overall skill set. I do think, goal line wise, I think he's better as a goal line guy than Travion is. I also do think he is a little bit better as far as just running through the tackles. He's a little bit better than Travion is, but it's not really enough to make me draft him in the 120s. So I'd rather have Ray Davis. I'd rather have Tootin. I'd rather have Trey Benson. Javonte's pushing it. I don't think I'd rather have Javonte, but I think that's kind of where my cutoff is. Braylon Allen is a really fun backup to have. I like Braylon Allen a lot too. I think Braylon Allen fits a lot of scheme as well. So this is probably going to be a double tap at running back because I don't really need another quarterback yet anyways. So this might be a double tap at running back where we go Ray Davis and Trey Benson or Ray Davis and Bashal Tootin, something to that effect. Braylon Allen's fun. Jaden Blue, we could probably get him next round. Najee, we can get him next time. Ramondre goes off the board at 130. Yeah, I think Ray Davis and Trey Benson are the two clicks here. If we get them to fall to us, which we do. So we're going to go ahead and just take 2 premium. What do you mean it's not my turn to pick? Oh, okay, there we go. Take 2 premium guys that I really like as cuffs. If James Cook goes down, we already know Ray Davis is the guy. If James Conner goes down, we know Trey Benson's the guy. There's really not much competition outside of those 2 guys. I also think there's a little bit of standalone value to be had with those 2. And I also think Ja'Cory Krosky is another guy that I'm really targeting pretty highly here. So, I think if we could get that to happen, that'd be great. We want to make sure our receivers are kind of established by the time we need that. So Braylon Allen at pick 138, he's moving up boards fast. And I get it, but I'm not there. I'm not at all there. Thornton, I'm not really a huge fan of. Leggett, I probably don't click hardly at all. Thielen, I'm more comfortable clicking Thielen than I am Leggett at this point, which may sound a little crazy. Honestly, it might sound a little crazy to say that out loud, but I just think it's a better click at this point. Should I trade Connor for Kamara? For context, I have McBride, Connor, and Harris. Yes. Even without the context, it's a yes for me. I like Kamara more than Connor straight up. So for me, yes. For me, that's a really easy yes. Krosky going at pick 146 in a room of sharp drafters. Unfortunate for me. Very unfortunate for me. I guess this is just going to be another room where I just take the old man, Austin Eckler. I guess. I guess this is another room where I just take Austin Eckler and just keep it pushing. I'm going to move back to the middle here. I got to hop in the next draft. These are some pretty bad takes. Which take is bad? Dark side, Dev. Which take are you referring to? I'm curious. At 1, should I go Jamar, Bijan, and redraft? You're going Jamar Chase. I don't even know what the debate is here. Jamar Chase, the 101, period. There's no other 101 pick. There's no other 101 pick other than Jamar Chase. Point blank, period. I'm not even really considering anybody else other than Jamar Chase at the 101. Personally. I think you can make a debate for the second pick being like CeeDee Lamb or Bijan. I think there's a case to be made there for team structure purpose. But no, I'm not. And he takes Eckler. No. Oh, okay. Well, this is what you get when you're in a room full of sharp people, unfortunately. Let's see. Najee Another good premium cuff to have. We'll just take Najee and move on. That's unfortunate that they took Eckler from me too. We go ahead and take Penix, pair up with Drake London. I'm cool with that. Is what it is. I don't think we need another quarterback. We can live with 2. Let's see. I got to keep my edge, bro. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, man. Whatever you feel is bad, bro. Whatever you feel is bad. KG's draft, free money. Hey, man. I mean, when you see Nico Collins go ahead of Jefferson and Gibbs in lobbies that I don't even have a say in that happening, I mean, let's be real for a moment. Let me move this real quick. Let's be real. I mean, come on, Nico and NABERS over Gibbs and Jefferson. Like, oh, let's be real, man. Let's be real. When we see Hurts and Burrow naked, it's just nasty. It's just nasty lobbies. Nasty, nasty lobbies. And it's all because of the guy's name that's hosting the contest. They see Flock Fantasy and they just finish all over themselves. I'm sorry, that sounded pretty bad to say out loud, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said, I hope tomorrow they drop more of the $40, $50 contests. SBMM. You know there's no SBMM in Underdog, right? Come on now. Oh, my phone's letting me know that it is my pick. Nice. My pick in the slows, probably. Isaac Tesla in round 15. Man, what are we doing? This is disgusting, bro. Like, what is this dude doing, man? And then Z-Will, De'Ami Brown. Like, this is just nasty work. This is just bad ball. My goodness, Torrey. Like, the rookies are just so pushed up, man. Flock is the sharpest in the industry. What you mean? Oh, well, if that's what you want to think, I've seen a lot sharper out there. A third quarterback could be had. I don't really want a third quarterback though, because Geno's not bad, but I'm not willing to go that route. I need receivers. We're definitely gonna take Alec Pierce. I think we need to go running back with some upside. I'm gonna go Will Shipley. I do think if Saquon misses time, Shipley's going to be a world beater, and it makes a lot of sense to go Shipley. So far we got a 2.662. The world needs to know will you be posting a 2K26 WNBA domination tutorial? Yeah, no. Will not be buying 2K26, so that content is gone from yours truly. Love, Life, and Baseball. I like that name. Love, Life, and Baseball. That's a pretty good name because I love life and baseball too. Baseball is amazing. Baseball is an amazing sport. Taj Brooks off the board. See, this is where I would expect Jerome Ford to kind of go at this point. Last round or second to last round. It's kind of where I think Ford should be at now these days. I don't think anything before that is, feasible. especially with the Judkins news. Jatavion Sanders off the board. Let's see. Logan Webb and Ryan Papio won me some money today. Ryan Papio, I traded him like mid-season in my dynasty, or not dynasty, keeper fantasy baseball league. He's had a pretty good year so far. Well, same with Logan Webb. Logan Webb's honestly had a pretty good year so far too. I like both those guys as pitchers. Unfortunately, Slayton goes off the board. Just tailed some picks. Yeah, I watch baseball a lot. Those guys, both those guys you just mentioned, are having really good years. Sorry, y'all. Anyway. Let's see. Probably them with Colston Loveland receiving over. I don't even like. I'll be real. I haven't even really bet on preseason a ton, if at all. I'm just more so waiting for the regular season. I'll start doing parlays maybe towards this. Like obviously week 1, I'll do parlays, but I don't know how much parlay work I'm going to be doing this year. We'll see. We've done a lot of best ball work, so I need a break. Simply put, I just need a break. Rodgers is, some help there. That'd be nice. I don't know if we want to make 6 receivers work here, though. We definitely are making 2 tight ends work. Running back wise, I mean, do we have anybody? Miles Sanders could be starting. We're definitely going to go Woody Marks. Do we want Coker? I mean, does Coker add anything to this team? He does. I mean, I think Coker's a good pick. All right, there's the team. We got a 2-7-7-2. Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Kyron Williams, Jalen Warren, Ray Davis, Trey Benson, Najee Harris, Will Shipley, Woody Marks, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Deebo Samuel, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Higgins, Alec Pierce, Jalen Coker, Evan Ingram, Tucker Kraft. I try my best to not deposit and just do parlays to draft more. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really going to be doing a whole lot of drafting during the year. I'm personally probably not going to do the DFS drafts every week. I mean, though that's where you really start getting into trouble with your bankroll. It gets costly to do that every single week. So looks like we snap filled. So that's unfortunate. If you guys wanted to get into the contest with us, we snap filled. So, and got some sharp guys in here for sure. I recognize Sammy or Sam, whatever you want to call him. I definitely recognize this J-Riz dude. Clarky, I've seen that name before. I'm kind of curious if that J-Riz is live on Twitch. I'm just curious if there's a dude named J-Riz on here. And if there is, what does he stream, It's more so a curiosity at this point. And it looks like there really isn't. Oh, it's J-Riz with 2. Oh, no, that's right. J-Riz. Yeah, I don't see him on Twitch, so I don't know if the TTV thing really means if that really means anything. So don't know what that means, but it is what it is. I guess we tried. We tried to see. We tried. Jamar Chase 101. Right now, my rankings, I need to update these, but I have Jamar 101, Gibbs 102, Lamb 103, Bijan 104, Saquon 105, Jefferson 106. is where I have my rankings currently. This guy must have been listening because he went Gibbs 103. Maybe we get Lamb. Maybe. That's a big maybe, though. Most likely not. I'm probably going to get stuck with Saquon, which is fine. But like I said, I like picking 5 or 6, so I have my... Yep. Okay, so Saquon Barkley, that's fine with me. I mean, just getting Saquon Barkley off the board is really nice. Get the RB1 from last year. Situation hasn't changed. Obviously, you can make a case for him being as good as he is as he was last year, this year. You know, I don't think that's in his realm, but even if he's not that good, I mean, let's be real, that's still a really good value for a guy like Saquon, where the situation's still really good. Justin Jefferson, pick 108 yet again. I mean, 108 every single room for Justin Jefferson. If only I was so lucky to get Jefferson at 108. I wish, man. I wish. I wish I was that fortunate. Like I said, though, if y'all are new here, make sure y'all drop a like on the stream. Greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments into the comment section if you have any comments before the season starts. Trade questions, start set questions, whatever they end up being, whatever time of year you end up seeing this. You know, I'd like to be able to help and answer the best I can. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing some reaches already. ACHANE at 16. I mean, dude, if BTJ falls all the way down to us, if it doesn't just go 3 receivers here, we're cheesing. He gets Jefferson, Brian Thomas. Oh man, I don't know how we beat that. That's yeah. And we're not gonna get AJ Brown, are we? That's super duper unfortunate for us. Oh, okay, never mind. We are just gonna buy the Eagles and keep it pushing. Unfortunately, this is the best start I've seen in a best ball draft. So lucky this guy. If only I could be him, Mr. J Riz, but I cannot be him, unfortunately. We're gonna have to beat that team somehow. With the power of friendship, we beat that team. Because we're gonna have to take Jalen Hurts. Well, we don't have to take Jalen Hurts, but it'd be preferred. Or we take Josh Allen and get the flip side of this and just play out the week 17 where Josh Allen outscores Jalen Hurts. That could very easily happen, by the way. Lamar Jackson goes off the board. Anything can happen. Literally, anything can happen. T. Higgins goes off the board. Hampton. One more pick. All right. We're going to do it. We're playing it. Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown to start this off. I like it. I mean, getting a guy like Josh who could be paired up with Saquon. Honestly, Saquon is a RB1 kind of guy. Josh Allen is a QB1 kind of guy. A.J. Brown, I don't know that he's necessarily a wide receiver one anymore. Like, has the potential to be the receiver one overall anymore, but you never know. You never know. I do think it's a pretty fun start, though, to do this for Week 17 correlation. Because Buffalo plays Philly, and I think that's super fun. You, me, we're face to face, but we don't see eye to eye. We're like fire and rain. Got me going insane. Let me see here real quick. I love that they have this pinned. It's beautiful. Okay, so they're playing in Buffalo. It doesn't really matter. I was just curious because I didn't know if they were going to be playing in Buffalo or Philly. It's not going to matter that time of year though because it's probably going to be snowing either way. So yeah. This dude starts out with 3 running backs: Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Travion Henderson in the 3rd round is crazy. That is a crazy pick. We could go Hurts and just go 2 super elites, but that's really stupid to do. In my eyes, that's really stupid to do. Kittle would be fun. Tet's fun. Jamo's fun. Worthy's already off the board. There goes Kittle. I love this dude's start, even though he doesn't have a running back. I like that start a lot. He doesn't really need one with as good as his team is. Probably going to go Jamo here. If anybody wants to take Hurts, they can just have him. I don't really need him. I already got Josh, so. Ooh, goodness. So we got Josh, Saquon, A.J. Brown, Jameson Williams to start this draft off. 3 running backs: Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson. We really got to keep on top of how many teams have 3 running backs. We got 1, 2 already. We got 2 with 2, 3 with. So we got 3 teams with 3 running backs already. So the receivers are probably getting pushed a little bit down, which is good for us. I think we can make this work. I would like to get Alvin K if we can, but if not, it's okay. I'm okay with taking a Ridley or a Sutton, or really a Devontae Smith would be pretty bad for my team because we'd have every Eagle but Jalen Hurts. I don't think I'm going to get that opportunity anyways because he has Jalen Hurts. So most likely not getting that option anyway. Okay, well, he goes Devontae Smith. That kind of screwed up his plan probably. He's probably going to take Ridley from me now. Just unfortunate, but is what it is, I guess. Oh, no. We get Ridley. Bet. All right, so we get a really good receiver room. I really like my receiver room. A.J. Brown, Jameson Williams, Calvin Ridley, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley. I really like this start so far. So far, so good. Let's see. Hubbard goes off the board. Let's see. Travis Hunter. James Conner. James Conner over Alvin Kamara is interesting for me. I probably personally would never do that, but there goes Alvin Kamara. I like this team a lot too. Whew. But I can't stay mad at you for anything. Sticky Ricky off the board at pick 59. Rashee Rice makes it to the turn guy here. He takes Rashee Rice. That would be a loaded receiver room to take a chance on. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have taken Waddle, but what do I know? What do I know? Maybe we're in a lobby where he drops 6 more picks and I get him. Nope, never mind. Nope, this guy decided to take 5 receivers and just be a super, super stacked stud at receiver. All right. I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do, it makes sense to do it. So, Ibuka off the board. Probably not going to get Roma Dunze, unfortunately. We still could, though. There's still a chance, but it's a very small one. So, that's really unfortunate for us. Yep, there goes Roma Dunze off the board. Not too surprised there. Golden goes off the board. Diggs off the board. I'm kind of surprised nobody took Debo, but I get it at the same breath too. Judy's a fun pick. I still think Debo's one of my favorite picks at this spot right now. I think a lot of that is me believing in Jaden Daniels being elite, being a top 2 quarterback. I think Jaden Daniels has a very legitimate chance to pass Lamar Jackson this year. I just don't see Lamar Jackson keeping up that level of consistency with his throwing. Keon Coleman at pick 71. Gross. Absolutely gross. We're probably going to scroll the F down here and get Shakir. I don't know. Addison would be fun. Addison would probably be extremely fun. So would Pollard. I'd rather have those two. There goes Addison. We get Pollard. I mean, I think Pollard's a really good pick at this point as well. I think I could do without Shakir, honestly, and just go get like Kincaid and somebody like Palmer or something like that. Like that, that's fine. He takes Shakir. I mean, that's fine, honestly. At the end of the day, that's fine with me. Is there any new contests out? Probably won't drop till tomorrow, but you never know. They dropped the Flock Fantasy Contest tonight, so yeah, they probably won't drop another new one till tomorrow. Whenever there's more people on the app, makes sense. There's a lot of slow drafts right now in this, so I really need to get on those once I get off the stream. Trying to keep up with those the best I can. Laporta goes off the board. Tracy at pick 81. Tracy's going early now. It's because Scatabo just is not that impressive, which I've been speaking that to the masses for most of the offseason. I'm not a big fan of Scatabo really at all. I think he's just a guy who has aura, and that's why he's getting drafted so high, or was getting drafted so high. Because he's not really explosive. He's not really anything like super duper like fun to draft. So if I get Warren here, I feel like this is a pretty ideal start. Yeah, I like this start. Get Jalen Warren on this running back room. This makes me smile. This makes me smile a lot. And I will happily take Joe Mixon if he falls all the way back over here too. I don't think he's going to. I think this team here is probably going to take him, but just because of how thin he is at running back, it makes sense for him to take the swing. But he might not. I mean, these teams here don't need to take it. This team might take it, this Fragger AJ team, but that'd be the only other team that maybe could take that swing. I'm more than happily taking the swing at 101. Like, you know what I mean? I think I've come around on Jaylen Warren being ahead of Joe Mixon, and that's the last running back I want to take ahead of Joe Mixon. I'm not taking Dobbins. I'm not taking Etienne over him. I'm not there. And the guy who has an already super solid running back room takes him. So, unfortunately, Joe Mixon's upside just got wasted. It is what it is. Could go Warren. I think we're just going to go Warren. That really sucks for us, but it is what it is. Like I said, not a whole lot you could do. Just a waste of a pick for him, honestly. He doesn't need that at running back. He has 3 super studs already in Hampton, Gibbs, and Walker. Like, well, I don't know why he needs a 4th. When his receiver room is Ladd McConkey, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, and Addison. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it like I said, it is what it is at the end of the day. Some people you can't control. They're just animals sometimes. Move myself back over here. But I mean, overall, this team's really good, I think, so far. So that's nice, at least. That I really like this team thus far. He goes back-to-back quarterbacks and takes 3 quarterbacks with Goff, Fields, and Mahomes. Nasty. Just saw a pretty big run on quarterback there. That's pretty unfortunate for us. When do we pick again? 125. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take Mooney. I do think Mooney at this value is pretty nice. Obviously, he's been moving down boards quite a bit with the injury. But I like I said, I think the value there is good, and I don't know. Maybe he misses week 1. Maybe he doesn't. We don't know that for certain yet. So I think it's safe to be fine with this. I'm really hoping that Njoku goes off the board so I don't have an excuse to draft Njoku. Because I'd rather have Njoku than Kincaid, personally. So, but I also know that Kincaid would be a little bit better for this team's stacking purpose. Oh, there you go. So, goes off the board there. We could take a quarterback. I don't really need a quarterback. We're going to go Kincaid, most likely. Krosky at 124 is nuts. I told myself I was going to get Krosky in the next 2 drafts, and he's not even been on my radar this soon. I mean, good gosh, dude. Yeah, never mind. You're never getting Krosky Merritt again. Like, I'm just cooked on Krosky Merritt. I'm just cooked. Never going to get to him that early. Just simply put, I'm never going to get to him that early. That's unfortunate. I guess that just means we're going to buy more Austin Eckler. I guess that's what that means. Austin Eckler is probably going to be my most drafted player this year. Isn't that something? Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen are going to be my 2 most drafted guys. And Justice Hill. I forgot about Justice Hill. My 3 most drafted guys. That's funny. It's funny how that works. I guess Krosky's going to have to take it in a lot of my slow drafts. Because good gosh, there's no way I'm getting to him in 120, 130s. There's just no way I'm getting to him that early. Keenan Allen off the board at 134. Man, I remember when Keenan Allen was a last round click. What a fun time that was. When Keenan Allen and J.K. Dobbins were like the last 2 rounds of your clicks. What a fun time. Those were the days. Trey Benson off the board. Probably going to go Josh Palmer. Pair him up with Josh Allen. Got a little double there. Cool with that. I love this team so far. Josh Allen, man in the helm. Saquon, Pollard, Warren, A.J. Brown, Jamison Williams, Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel, Darnell Mooney, Joshua Palmer, Tyler Warren, Dalton Kincaid. That's a really fun team, I feel like. We don't really need an elite second quarterback. I mean, that's just something that we really don't need. It would be a commodity to get. Kyle Pitts off the board. We're drafting Austin Eckler this early. I mean, I'm more than prepared to just get a bunch of Austin Eckler. I am just more than happily taking him. At this point, I just think he's too good not to take. I think his price, I think he's heavily mispriced. I think if we're willing to take Ray Davis at pick 130, we should be able and willing to take Bashal Tootin at 128. I just don't feel Eckler's that far off. If we're willing to take Cam Scatterbo at 122 and Krosky Merritt, especially at 124, like I'm just totally out there. I'd rather just take Eckler at 150, 160 and call it a day. His running back room is going to be nasty. This running back room is disgusting, other than Genty, obviously, but it's gross. It's very, very gross. His receiver room should be great, honestly. I mean, the receiver room's great. Tight end, Laporta. I mean, I'm not in on Laporta this year, but I see the appeal. I mean, it is what it is. If we get him, we get him. If we don't, we don't. These are the 2 guys that I'm looking at. I mean, it is what it is. If we get either one of them, I'm cool with it. Looks like we're going to, though, which is nice. Probably will go. Okay, he takes Penix as a 3rd quarterback. Okay, I guess we're just going to go Cam Ward then. And that's our other quarterback. Works for me. Let's see. I'm not really in the mood to draft Nick Chubb. I like Dowdle. Hunter Henry's good. I think Hunter Henry is a fun click. If you want another tight end in this room, which honestly, another tight end in this room is not going to kill us because the quarterback room's pretty well done. We don't need another quarterback here, in my eyes. I think another tight end really solidifies this team, especially if it's a decent one like Hunter Henry. Jonnu Smith's another one that I'd look at, but of course Hunter Henry goes off the board as I'm talking about him to a team that has Kelsey and Pitts. Nasty. Anyway, let's see. Millen, I'm not really taking a ton of. Let's see. Jonnu's fine. We can do Jonnu Smith. It's not fun, but it's not necessarily a bad click either here at this point. Buying a little bit of Pittsburgh, buying a little bit of Tennessee. You got the Eagles. You got, Bills. You got some really good teams in here. I feel like the Titans are extremely mispriced. I also think the Steelers could potentially be as well. I think Cam Ward is the most underrated number 1 overall pick I've ever seen. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see. But Cam Ward is the least talked about number 1 overall pick, I think, in the history of football. Justice Hill is now a 212 ADP. That's crazy. That is crazy. And he will be my most drafted player. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Like, I get it, man. Keaton Mitchell's great, but, God bless. Justice Hill's going to have a role there regardless. And it's still Keaton Mitchell's, to earn, from him. Justice Hill is still a very good running back in the NFL. Good grief. I'm definitely not there with Justice. I'm way up. I'm way higher on Justice Hill than that. So, we don't really need to look at anything else other than receiver, running back. And I think running back, we need to get a couple guys. Let's see. Tending to hamstring injury. Slayton, I think, is a very fun click. I think if you get him in this order, as the last 3 picks, this is an extremely fun ending to this draft. You get Slayton, and then you get these 2 running backs. That, to me, is a really fun ending. Giddens is also really fun. Harquez is not nearly as fun as he once was. Ty Johnson is something you could do as well now that you got the Bills stuff. It's an option. It's just I'd probably take Ty over Justice because they're very similar, but having Ty Johnson over Justice Hill is one more lever with the Bills that you could play. Giddens off the board, unfortunately. So it is what it is. We're going to do the Ty Johnson click because that's the click I want to have. And then we'll get the Ollie Gordon click at the end. I think that's a really good click, honestly. Ty Johnson and Justice Hill are pretty similar. It's just this time around you're buying the Buffalo stuff because you already have the Buffalo stuff going. The Buffalo Eagles week 17 kind of thing going already. And then Ollie Gordon, I think, is a fun upside swing. I don't really know another fun upside swing there left that isn't named Marquez Hunter or Ollie Gordon at this point. Keaton Mitchell, I think at this price is reasonable. Like, I think if you choose Keaton Mitchell or Justice Hill, I think that's a lot more reasonable to be choosing between those two guys last round than it is like Keaton Mitchell at 186. Like 186 Keaton Mitchell's way too early for me. So we got Josh Allen, Cam Ward, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, Jalen Warren, Austin Eckler, Ty Johnson, A.J. Brown, Jamison Williams, Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel, Darnell Mooney, Joshua Palmer, Darius Slayton, Tyler Warren, Dalton Kincaid, and Jonnu Smith. Last pick, hopefully we get Ollie Gordon and we get a little bit of upside swing there. We'll see. But ACHANE, I don't know how serious this is going to end up being, but soft tissue stuff is never fun to deal with. And Ollie Gordon is going to get some first team reps. And I think Ollie Gordon's been really good this preseason too. I don't really buy a bunch of preseason stuff. Ollie Gordon wasn't very great his last year in college. I do think Keaton Mitchell's a little bit better of a pick. So if Keaton Mitchell's there, I'm probably going to go Keaton Mitchell. Because realistically, at the end of the day, we're still buying upside either way here. Both of them have a long route to go. Would you rather say Ollie Gordon or Keaton Mitchell gets, more work? Probably Ollie Gordon gets more. But actually, we're going to go Ollie Gordon. I think Ollie Gordon makes more sense than Keaton Mitchell for this team. So, yeah, that's the final team into the Flock Fantasy Contest for number 3 and final draft. Josh Allen, Cam Ward, Saquon Pollard, Warren Eckler, Ty Johnson, Ollie Gordon, A.J. Brown, Jamison Williams, Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel, Darnell Mooney, Josh Palmer, Darius Slayton, Tyler Warren, Dalton Kincaid, and Jonnu Smith. Rounding it out there as the final Flock Fantasy Community Contest draft for this Flock Community Contest number 8. So we have maxed that now, and we have maxed all of our Flock Community Contests as well. So that's going to do it for me. I think that's going to do it for me. We can look at the contests here real quick. Like I said, I would anticipate another contest or two dropping tomorrow. Similar to the Husky, like a $40 to $75 price point per entry, 5 to 10 entry max. I would anticipate that coming tomorrow. The big eliminator, I'm probably not doing that. Mania, I haven't done that at all. Sprint and marathon, I'm not doing those two either. The big dog, I will not be doing that. The Great Dane, if nothing drops within the week, then I'll probably do that, maybe a little. The Puppy 3, I've done a little bit. I've done what I want to do in the Puppy 3. I even got some crazy values in the Puppy 3. I believe it was this one, maybe? No. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one. Or I got Brees Hall at pick 54, JT at pick 30, Saquon at pick 6. Then you come down to the receivers and you get Pickens, Deebo, Judy, Reed at a value, Mims at a value, Wandale, Tesla, Demario Douglas. A lot of good receivers here. And then you still ended up with Brock Bowers, Tucker Kraft as your tight ends. Like, this team is immaculately nice. I really like this team a lot. This was a really nice team as well. Really good receivers. You got good tight ends as well. But yeah, I mean, the Puppy 3, I'm not really too interested in entering a bunch of stuff. So I haven't really gotten to a lot of them. It is what it is. Like I said, if you don't max contests, I feel like it's almost, I'm not going to say pointless to enter them because that's not the right word, but it's not in your best interest to do that. If you can max a contest, you should, is my opinion. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. I'm I'm gonna put this down here real quick, and I'll kind of show you guys my exposures real quick. We'll flash through them real quick. Josh Allen's my third most drafted quarterback, which makes a lot of sense. Running backs, let's see, Eckler. Receiver, what do we got looking like at receiver here? Pierce, Keenan, Slayton, Rome, Addison, Judy, Rice, Downs. Really, we haven't taken a stand on receiver, which kind of is interesting because usually I have at least a couple. Tight end, we've taken some stands at running back. We've taken some stands. We've really not taken that many stands, like 20% plus stands. Probably will change that going forward. I'm going to try to get some more drafts in. Like I said, these slow drafts, I have a lot of rankings set, so we'll probably start seeing those stands become more transparent once these are done. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, if you guys are new here, make sure y'all smack the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we will be back with more content whenever they drop more contests. Until next time, I will see you guys all in the next one.